Welcome and good morning, everyone, to our session at the European Social Economy Summit on Behind the Scenes, Making of the European Impact Hero, or creative ways that corporates and startups can collaborate. Thank you very much for being here. Let's take some more minutes for other participants to give them the chance to join us in the session. I hope that you enjoyed also our main stage talks and found our session. I'm very, very happy that you found us. It's not that easy. We are aware of that the platform has a lot of things going on and a lot of parallel program. This is even more how much we appreciate you being here. So I will be guiding through the session, moderating the session today. I'm Manuel Kreitmeir. I'm part of Social Entrepreneurship Baden-Württemberg and co-initiator of the European Impact Hero program. And I'm very proud to welcome and present you our panelists of today. And I want to introduce to you Tobias Joest, who is Chief Expert for Next Generation Employee Experience at SAP. So Tobias, you will tell us just shortly what next generation employee experience is. It just sounds awesome. It sounds absolutely that you are the kind of person that we need in this panel and that we need to talk about corporate volunteering and why volunteering is important. I want to introduce you Kiara Sweeney, who is Launch and Implementation Manager at Microsoft Germany. Kiara, thank you very much for joining us. And also you have been a volunteer at Impact Hero Day, and we will talk with you about your experience that you had during the Impact Hero Day and how this influences your work and vice versa. And last but not least, I'm very, very happy to welcome Johanna Klewitz, Coordinator of Sustainable Procurement at Audi AG. Johanna, thank you very much also for being here. Thank you very much also for being part of the European Impact Hero. I'm really looking forward within the next hour to discuss a little bit about especially the Impact Hero Day, which was an official side event of the European Social Economy Summit, and then also about your experience. And we will have a look at the 10 winning teams, at the finalists that won at the Impact Hero Day and are going to get access at the Impact Hero Lab, a 6-month accelerator program, which is supported by SAP, Volkswagen Group, Audi, and Microsoft. So let's start our introduction round. Tobias, let's start with you, a little introduction. What is you do? And I'm very eager to hear what you do as the Chief Expert of Next Generation Employee Experience.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm very happy that I'm invited here and that I can be part of this hour that we spent together. Like Manuel mentioned, my name is Tobias Joest, and at SAP I work on many topics focused on the best employee experience for our employees and on future-oriented working models. So everything that makes our employees happier and goes beyond what my colleagues want, but really understanding what they need and how can we provide the best work and work experience that is possible. Besides my job at SAP, I'm teaching human-centered solution design at IAE Business School in Madrid, and I worked with many startups in the past, especially from Eastern Europe. And at the Impact Hero Day 2 days ago, it was my responsibility to find the right coaches for the ventures, and so the ventures have the best support to work on that challenges. And this was quite challenging, but also quite fun.
And let me say, you did a great job finding the coaches. It was really great.
Actually, the coaches did the great job. So.
But you did a great job finding them. So that's like the link. And as you said, you're also teaching human-centered design. And I would love later maybe also discuss not only the Impact Hero Day, but also your experience. I know that you did a lot of Eastern Europe that you just mentioned. And we would love to hear, also about that and some anecdotes maybe that you would like to share. So thank you very much for being here. Kiara, I also really like to hear what you do at Microsoft, and maybe you can add also why I guess your very busy schedule, why you take one day off in preparation time to be part of a corporate volunteering project like the Impact Hero Day.
So thank you so much, first of all, for allowing me to be here today. This is truly a great opportunity, and also being able to volunteer as part of the Impact Hero Day. So to me, as you already mentioned, my name is Kiara, and I'm a launch and implementation manager at Microsoft for our hardware product business area. So that means that I help ensure successful in-market deployment of our new products, like our Surface devices, our Surface hubs, and our mixed reality HoloLenses, which you may have seen. And as such, I am specifically responsible for driving and implementing change across our operational business. So that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. And outside of that, I'm a very active volunteer, whether it's teaching coding to children or, working on our internal sustainability group at Microsoft. I think there are so many different ways to get involved and contribute and make a positive impact to society and individuals. I decided to apply for this event because I think it's a unique experience to learn from others and share the experience that I have. And I hoped that I could gain more insight into the topic of sustainability, because truly sustainability needs to be addressed now by companies like Microsoft, but also from startups and other people in our society. So I just wanted to learn more, gain new perspectives, and bring that back into my work environment.
Yeah, thank you very much. And also thank you for giving insight on your motivation, why it is you volunteer and teaching coding to kids and doing so many things. It's really, really awesome. And that's also what we can see, coming from the social enterprise perspective. If, somebody volunteers, they're like volunteering all over. And also Tobias is not the first time in one of our events. We did a hackathon with him 2 years ago. So that's happening quite often, that, being very, very active if you are engaged. So that's really, really awesome. We're very lucky to have you here. And also maybe, later on we can dig a little bit more into the question that you just mentioned, the potential of companies that are going more sustainable, and also how startups can benefit from their knowledge, obviously, and vice versa. What can you as an employee, maybe there's something that you can take, some inspiration, or maybe something else from, working with social and sustainable startups. So later on, we'll have the opportunity maybe to discuss this a little bit further. And I think it's a very, very important and interesting topic. Now, Johanna, you are coordinator sustainable procurement at Audi AG. So that's like basically, the interface between like real hard KPI driven business coming from procurement, and then of course, connecting to the sustainability world. You're, I guess, in the midst of this transformation that we have towards a more sustainable economy. I'm very, very happy to have you, and would like to hear from you also. Maybe what is it in your words actually that you do, and what makes you being a volunteer?
Yes, so thank you for having us, first of all. So my name is Johanna, and I've been with Audi for about 5 years now in the role of the coordinator of a team really only dedicated to sustainability in the supply chain. So our specific task is it to think together with our suppliers and buyers of the best possible ways to create positive environmental and social impact along the entire value chain. And you can imagine just Audi with about 14,000 direct suppliers. This is a huge task. So that's why we always look for new and creative formats to find good solutions to the challenges that we face, but also to leverage opportunities, because of course sustainability is not only risk management, quite on the contrary, it's also an opportunity management. So I'm really glad that Susanna, she got us involved in this whole European Impact Hero Day. It's really cool that she integrated us as a team into this format of the corporate volunteers. And it was really fun to be a volunteer and work together with individual startups on their challenges, to exchange the ideas. And I hope that we were able to contribute from our, let's say, daily practical experience on how we approach certain challenges, how we implement systems, and also maybe the questions that we typically as corporates have when we try to implement solutions. So for us, I think this was really beneficial from both sharing experience, but also really seeing that the whole sustainability agenda is really getting momentum. I've been in this area of more than 12 years now, and I think what's really, really great that it's not only regulations and so on that are increasingly driving this change, but actually entrepreneurs are picking up on this topic, and not just since yesterday, also for many years now. But it's great to see so many startups really focusing on how can we create positive social impact, and that was really inspiring.
Thank you very much, Johanna. And also today we are at the European Social Economy Summit, which is hosted by the European Commission. Of course, our session here is part of a much larger event, and this event also the part is one question: how can the social economy contribute to the European Green Deal, right? And the green transformation of Europe. So, Johanna, as you say, I think we can see this transformation coming from top down, bottom up, and this really gaining momentum, and it's very, very interesting to see these worlds coming together, and whether it be coming from politics or government, and also from your side from corporates, and then working together with startups. So I'm really looking forward also then to the discussion during the end of our session to get more into these topics. What you think, what maybe something, a key takeaway for you being a volunteer, but also maybe on a more meta perspective, why it makes sense for corporates and startups to cooperate. Before we get into that, we really want to show you our 10 winning teams, and maybe just again a little description about the setup that we had. The Impact Hero Day was 2 days ago on May 25th, and it was one of the official side events from the European Social Economy Summit. But it's part of a much larger project. It's part of the European Impact Hero program, and it was initiated by SAP, Microsoft, Volkswagen Group, and supported also by Audi, and implemented by the Center for Open Social Innovation and Social Entrepreneurship BD. So this by itself already coming together, the NGO sector and the corporates, and the idea was to help social and sustainable ventures that are active in supply chain, climate, and or circular economy to get their business on the next level. So what we did was a call for proposals, a Europe-wide call for proposals, where we got more than 30 applications from very, very interesting and very diverse group of social and sustainable ventures that are actually tackling this field with entrepreneurial means and with innovation. And then we selected 20 of them to be part of the Impact Hero Day, where we brought together with a diverse group of experts from, as you said, colleagues from Audi, but also Microsoft and SAP, especially in terms of facilitation and team coaching. And we matched them according to skill and had them working as interdisciplinary teams to really solve their challenges. And what we could really see in the feedback that we got from these startups is that many of them really contributed a lot. And something that we even, didn't realize is that sometimes if you look, you think there are so many programs out there, right? But what we heard from the startups that we had is that they also struggled a lot during COVID-19. Being an entrepreneur, being at home, not meeting other people, and only having experts and volunteers and people committed for a whole day to work on your challenge, to listen to all the problems that you have, and to bring in their expertise, their esprit, their contacts, really helped them a lot. But this is not where we stop, because 10 of these startups that we had, they actually have the opportunity to get further support from us. This is what we call the Impact Hero Lab. It's going to be a 6-month support program where we're going to have mentorships from SAP, but also bring them together with experts from Audi, from sustainable procurement, for example, and help them to implement the solution that they have developed the day before yesterday. And now we want to introduce you to these 10, I think, really amazing startups that work in various fields and come from various European countries. We will look at the first slot, and it's starting with Beef Limited, Buffy, and Circular Product Pass. They have sent us their pitch videos. Let's look at the first 3 startups, and then we can discuss together a little bit about them and the experience that we had at the Impact Hero Day. Thank you very much.
Our planet faces two existential crises: climate change and mass biodiversity loss. Both of these threats must be addressed in unison for us to stand a chance of a sustainable future. The voluntary carbon market offers an effective tool to tackle both these threats. However, three core challenges exist that are preventing it from scaling and reaching its potential: poor asset transparency and provenance, an over-reliance on intermediaries to transact the assets, and a significant gap in climate finance for small project developers and communities. Biodiversity and Ecosystem Futures is developing three core solutions to address these challenges: a more secure and transparent registry system, a peer-to-peer marketplace designed to eliminate the need for escrow accounts or trusted intermediaries, and a new financial instrument called microgreen bonds designed to democratise climate finance. Our registry is currently live and provides unparalleled transparency of project information, asset ownership and provenance. This has been designed to build greater trust and auditability in the market. Our peer-to-peer marketplace will enable project developers to sell their assets direct to buyers, meaning any funds spent on carbon offsets will actually reach the project, not line the pockets of the intermediaries. Integrated with our registry and marketplace, microgreen bonds will offer a new financial instrument enabling project developers to crowdfund their project. In exchange, investors have the chance to purchase a tradable instrument that guarantees them a percentage of future carbon credits generated by the project. All of these services will be offered on a single platform, covering the entire life cycle of a project. Our challenge? We're launching the marketplace in the summer and microgreen bond service in the autumn of 2021. We need to raise awareness of our solutions, cutting through the noise to attract organisations that wish to participate in our pilots. To learn more, visit www.thebef.org.
So here's the thing. You put your old clothes in donation containers and you think that they will be given to people in need. In reality, 80% of these clothes end up either being incinerated or in landfills. Pretty grim picture, isn't it? Let's change that. Introducing Baffy, the upcycling marketplace. We connect you with sewists and upcycling enthusiasts who can upcycle your clothes into something useful. So suppose you have an old sweatshirt. Through Baffy, you can make it into a backpack. Or if you have an old sweater, you can make it into a handbag. Hundreds of things are just waiting to be discovered in your wardrobe. And the best part? In doing so, you get to support the local economy. Now here's the challenge. On Impact Hero Day, we want to come up with the best marketing strategy to onboard sewists to our platform. We hope we can come up with innovative solutions. See you then!
Hi, I'm Johanna and one of the founders of Circular Product Pass. Sustainability is a really important thing. A lot of people are talking about it, but until today, it's often really hard to measure it. To be able to make smart decisions, you need facts. For example, if you buy a pair of jeans, you can choose between two brands. Which one has a smaller impact on our planet, and how big is that? Has the cotton of the fabric been shipped 3 times around the globe? Or if you look, for example, at an old electric motor, what's his value? Is it worth to be repaired or better off for recycling? And that's where our venture comes in. Our platform makes it easy for manufacturers to collect this information by gathering the relevant information along their established sourcing process. And in the end, the Circular Product Pass shows all this information as a sum of its parts. It serves as a proof of the product's footprint and hopefully is an enabler for our circular economy.
So thank you very much for these great videos, and also again I have to say that was we asked them quite spontaneously to submit videos, so really kudos to the ones who did it very on the fly, and I think they were very great. And some of you wrote great project. I don't know which one you mean, but I say I think all of them are great. And I certainly, there are some projects which I think I know a little bit more about, but maybe one of you was working with one of these projects, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more. I think Kiara, didn't you work on circular product paths? Weren't you part of that team?
Absolutely, yes. So it was a great experience. On the Impact Hero Day, I worked as a volunteer on the Circular Product Pass team, and their idea is that they are going to launch a product pass, in essence, based on blockchain technology to make sustainability measurable, as you could have just seen in the video as well, by identifying what materials are contained in a given product and then determining what their ecological footprint is. So we talked a lot about the definition of sustainability and it needing to meet our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, and how this solution could really help make sustainability measurable. And I thought it was an incredible discussion that we had. It's a great idea that can be applied in various industries, and really bring businesses to that next level, because it's not only a product that's interesting to the end consumer, it's also something that businesses are really interested in knowing. How, sustainable is my product line? Imagine you could calculate the most recent CO2 emissions based on real-time linked data, or you could simulate CO2 emissions for alternative product production lines. And this product would really make that possible. So I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of opportunities that are still able for them to be discovered.
Absolutely, and it sounds really, really incredible. But I mean, there's one thing I think, and we've seen this a lot, right? Like pitching and talking, but you also have to walk the talk. And I think you really did that at the Impact Hero Day, because otherwise, obviously, you wouldn't be doing the 10 finalists. Maybe, Kiara, can you say a little bit about how was working with the Circular Product Pass? How was the challenge coming about? And then, were you happy with the final pitch? I mean, obviously, you did a good job because they were now one of the finalists. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So it was a great opportunity to meet everyone on the team. Everyone had a different background, which was incredibly valuable in terms of bringing knowledge together. And I have to say, I was really humbled and also inspired by the knowledge that was available on the team from the founders with their vision for the product and the solution, as to the expertise, industry knowledge of the different corporate volunteers from Audi, SAP, bringing that all together to kind of help grow this idea to be the next big thing. And I think we really were able to bring that knowledge together and tell the story in our pitch. And I think the founders did a great job at doing so. And you could really see that there was a huge development from when we first initially met that morning towards when that final presentation was given at the end of the day. And I can only imagine with guiding these companies and founders for the next 6 months will bring in real value and allow them to make an impact.
I can say we're really, looking forward to work with Circular Product Paths and, of course, also the other startups for the next 6 months and supporting them And also in the end, we will share the link and invite you for the final event, which is going to be at 11th of November. And Kiara and everybody else, I hope also, and I guess maybe to see you again there and then see the development in 6 months. But it's exactly as you said. I think doing this kind of works, of this boot camps, and even now digitally, it's always amazing how much can be done in a day. You know, sometimes with a challenge that is kind of vague and then to a very concrete solution. And of course, this is made possible by you, by the volunteers, by the people that are coming together. And it's really awesome to see, you know, that the startups benefited. And not only the 10 that we have now as a finalist, but also the others. We got many emails and feedback saying that it was such a great opportunity to be part of this project. So thank you very much, Kiara, for your insight. Thank you also for supporting this project. And now I would like to take the opportunity to look at the others, at our second group of finalists that we have, and it's Camp Collapse, True Colors, and Breeze Technologies. So now we're going to have a look in their very short pitch videos.
Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Antonis, and together we are part of Camp Collapse.
Camp Collapse is a creative future collective.
Early on, we realized that people are not adequately prepared to face the challenges of the future imposed by climate change.
So, Camp Collapse offers a variety of immersive experiences to better take people to the future and realistically envision what they want, but how to get there. This includes workshops, games, role play, theatre, interactive experiences, and immersive ones.
A year and a half later, we want to scale our impact. In order to do that properly, we need financial sustainability. So we thought the best way to do that is to extend our offer towards companies, to include our immersive activities as team-building activities for them, for their internal purposes, while at the same time increasing their environmental awareness and inspire them to take action.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kalindi from the seaside of Slovenia, currently in London.
Hi, my name is Hauke. I'm from Hamburg.
Hi, I'm Anna from Munich.
I'm Joshua from Budapest, currently in Munich. Let me present to you our project, True Colors. Global supply chains are intransparent, not only to customers, but also to companies. The deaths in the Rana Plaza collapse touched the hearts of consumers and changed their behavior. Consumers demand more focus on human rights in business, as is also Lieferkettengesetz, a German law currently in the making. We are building a digital-first grievance mechanism. Factory workers are often young digital natives, so this is the perfect way for them to complain. With our system, complaints can efficiently be handled, therefore CSR managers see the results and gain valuable insights. Our product consists of two parts. On the one hand, we offer a digital messenger, for example, WhatsApp, that guides the worker through filing a complaint. On the other hand, we provide a platform to manage and solve the complaints with all required stakeholders.
The Lieferkettengesetz is applicable to all kinds of industries, for food, for automotive, but we chose the fashion industry as our beachhead market because of its consumer-facing nature and the intense global value chains. We already secured 2 German fashion brands as customer pilots and working with them to get our complaint mechanism on the ground in Vietnam and Pakistan. We are a team of 4 digital natives and decided to make our passion our business and created a venture to make every complaint heard and create social impact and several SDG goals. We had a lot of fun during the European Impact Hero Day and had a lot of great progress in working on challenges in our venture. Thank you so much. Let's create impact together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my name is Robert Heinecke. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of Breeze Technologies. We are a Hamburg-based startup that helps businesses and cities to monitor and to improve air quality. We develop and deploy lower-cost air quality sensors, and what we have done is actually move all the complexity from traditional air quality sensing from the individual piece of hardware to the cloud. And that means that we can make our sensors 50,000 times smaller and 1,000 times cheaper, which then enables us to deploy much more of them. And by bringing all this data together in a central cloud platform, we can actually also power other business applications for air quality data. Back in 2014, I was living and working in Istanbul, and that was in winter, and Istanbul in winter has a lot of problems with air pollution. Some parts of my stay there, I could barely see the other side of the street anymore, and this really shocked me. And digging deeper into the topic, I saw that cities today rely on technology that has been developed in the 60s and 70s. And this was shocking for me, and I wanted to change that. I wanted to bring cities and their tools into the 21st century and enable them to actually do something about air pollution.
Wow, what great startups, really, and great videos. And I loved how Breeze Technology, they send us the video, already European Impact Hero Award winner. That's really, I think, the fastness and the leanness you need to succeed as an entrepreneur. Do you have any comments on these startups or anything that resonates, personally to you? Maybe Tobias, also from your side. Coming from SAP, I think there are a lot of technology-based startups, and I think you see a lot of movement in this direction, right? You were the head coach, obviously, so you didn't work with the teams so intensive as other volunteers, kind of being in charge of everything. Is there anything that resonates with you in general with these startups or at the Impact Hero Day? Why you do it? Because it's obviously also stressful. What are you getting when you work with startups like these?
Let me first say something to Breeze Technologies. They are a good example that you don't always have to invent something completely new. Sometimes a good business model can also be like making something cheaper or smaller in their case to make this data of air quality more available and more accessible for communities, for cities, for regions. And that is also something that many startups should keep in mind. It's not always necessary to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it makes also sense to take something existing and just improve it to a meaningful level. And I think this is what Breeze Technologies is doing, and I really like that.
It's a very good point, isn't it? That you make, improving something that's already existing. I'm sure, Tobias, you have seen this a lot. We have definitely seen this a lot. As you said, reinventing the wheel, right? And I think some of you already know this if you're involved in design sprints and in these kind of things. Idea always comes up is the platform for connecting, this and this, which is very, very difficult to implement. But I really like the approach that you just said and that you see in Breeze Technologies, taking something that is already existing and then trying to improve it. But still, my question is open to you, of course. I'm very eager to hear, because what you do is, for all of us, it's a lot of work, but for you being in charge of things, it's a stressful job. If everything works well, it's, not very visible maybe, but if something doesn't work well, you're in the center. So why are you doing that, above all the work that you already have?
Yeah. Manuel, I think we all, as we are here in this panel, we are lucky to work for an amazing company, for amazing companies. And I guess we are doing well and we have a good life, right? So it's at least for myself, I can say this. And if I want to keep this good life for myself, and also if the society wants to have a good life, we have to work on topics that drive a more social and sustainable future. Not in all senses, but in some senses. And as a volunteer, I have the goal to give something back to the society and to contribute to change things for the better. That sounds really nice, and everybody wants that and says that, of course. And probably I'm sometimes losing focus in doing things that I could do better, but at least I think about it and have this goal. So at the European Impact Hero, the Impact Hero Day 2 days ago, we supported startups that focus on climate neutrality, circular economy, and a sustainable supply chain. And there is no better chance to volunteer, to come closer to my personal goals, to give something back, right, and to have an impact. I mean, like I just said, supporting a startup like Breeze Technologies, it's cool, right? So they do something which is good, and probably the same. I just noted down from the last round where Baffy was introduced. I mean, they disrupt an existing business model, because we all think if we donate old clothes to those boxes, at least in Germany, I don't know how this is in other countries, we think those clothes, they go to people that need them, to poor people, to people that live on the streets or something like that. Deep inside myself, I know that this is not like that. Yeah, so at least those that are not from Red Cross or something that hopefully do this a little bit better. But most of those boxes are commercial boxes, and they sell those things and those clothes, or they like this, like they mentioned in the video, they just destroy them. Right? And I really think that this is a good example also, like this upcycling idea, what they have. It's basically not the newest thing, I think. There were projects like that before, but there can't be enough projects like that. So so this is actually why I like being part of those kind of events, and this is the fourth or fifth I'm being part of. And so it makes me feel good, like to give something back.
Yes, also what I hear from you is, that you can have impact, and I guess you can have impact with something that you're good at, right? Like you said, you're also a professor of human-centered design. You teach that. It's something that you do on a basis, I guess also in the corporate world with clients, and now bringing this specific knowledge, because of obviously there's a lot everybody can do, right? Like everybody of us can volunteer. We can paint kindergartens, which is also a very noble thing to do. But what I hear from you is that it's specifically targeting something that you're good at, you do professionally, and you can use this in programs like these to have an impact by supporting startups that are actually tackling this change. So this is also something that comes about, that you think this is something where you can also offer something?
This is what all volunteers can do, right? So because like we are here in this call, and also the volunteering experts from SAP, Microsoft, Volkswagen, Audi, they do something different. They are not in a social startup in their real life, right? But they can provide their knowledge to social startups, social ventures, so they can improve, and they can. So those ventures and startups can improve and maybe go 1 or 2 steps further in their business, because startups, they are, especially social startups, they have usually very good ideas and they are very optimistic about what they're doing, but they lack of a business model, they lack of proper user research, of proper testing. That's my experience, that this very often happens. And those events are very good to open their eyes a little bit, right? So because it's not only good to do something good for the society if it doesn't work. So if you don't make money with it, at least to pay your bills in your social startup, then there is no startup, right? So then it's not sustainable, and they cannot exist for a long time. They can just exist for a few months, and then the private money is gone. And that's why it makes sense to also have a look at like a business model and where they want to go, what's their environment there, their financial and ecological environment they're working in.
Thank you very much. And I think you're absolutely right. It's our experience as a association representing social startups here in the German state of Baden-Württemberg. And thank you very much also for your insights. I would like to have a look now at our last group of startups that we have. And it's Toda Vida, Groom, EcoTrack, and Zurückstore. So really happy to look at the last pitches of our 10 finalists at the European Impact Hero.
Hi guys, my name is Bruna from Toda Vida, and our venture produces and sells high-quality foods grown in regenerative agroforestry systems by small-scale farmers and or cooperatives in Brazil. We connect those sustainable food producers in the Global South, in Brazil for the moment being, with European consumers through a direct, circular and fair production consumption cycle. We are tackling many problems around the way we produce food nowadays, such as deforestation of native forests, soil, water, and air pollution because of the many pesticides we are using in agriculture nowadays, climate change, of course, and unfair conditions to the ones who remain at the end and most important place of the food chain, in our opinion, the local communities. We believe that producing and eating delicious food can mean ecosystem regeneration instead of destruction, which is unfortunately what's most happening in our monoculture systems nowadays. The main challenge we're facing at the moment is to actually sell our products. Recently, one of our first products arrived in Berlin, and we're not selling as expected, despite a lot of marketing and sales efforts. That's why we need an innovative and unique strategy that allows us to reach those customers without having to invest a lot in conventional marketing, because we want to invest that money in building more forests and helping the local communities. So we hope the European Impact Hero Fellowship can help us find this approach and market our idea. Thank you very much.
The way of working is changing. Let's also change the view on health and productivity at the workplace. This is exactly what GROWN stands for and what we have developed. We are an assessment and consulting service that really dives deep into what people need to be productive, healthy, and happy in and around their work. We assess automatically and effectively, based on our experiences and scientific psychological knowledge, how a long-term program can better the situation and the conditions at the workplace and transfer and realize these insights into a new concept of seminar room. We offer a training program for teams of companies in the garden, the veggie garden. Yes, you heard right. We use the garden as a tool to bring a change of scenery, enjoy nature, learn something about local and regional growing food, then have a fun and entertaining seminar led by an experienced coach, and end up an training day with a nice, delicious cooking workshop and enjoy of a nice meal. This happens 3 to 4 times a year, and if wanted, also second or third year, so that the real process is started and new inspirations can be implemented. This is how we really change the conditions at the workplace.
My name is Anna. Zurück creates new products from used hotel linen. Why? I believe that we discard way too much. I believe in new ways and I believe in upcycling. It's in our hands. To bring even more textiles back in the loop, I need you. Be part of my movement. Green Laola.
Hi, I'm Eric from EcoTrack and we make sustainable decision making. Let me ask you a question. Can you imagine shooting one arrow at two targets at the same time? No? Me neither. Yet somehow this is exactly what we expect our procurement managers to do in 2020. For decades, their target has revolved around three criteria: price, quality, delivery time. Since 70% of all corporate emissions are caused within the supply chain, companies are involving a fourth dimension into their purchasing decisions: sustainability. But without providing procurement departments with the proper tools and incentives to align those targets, we end up with inefficient processes like this. To collect their suppliers' data, a procurement department either spends hours on Google research or they manually send out questionnaires to all their suppliers, most of which never get returned. And even if they were, they would only answer two questions. One, how high is the risk of keeping a current supplier? And two, what are the emissions in my supply chain right now? Even though both of these questions are extremely valid and important, they're missing out on one key aspect: the impact. So what are we proposing? EcoTrack. Imagine all it takes as a procurement manager was to enter a name into a search bar, and within seconds you get one comprehensive overview of all the soft and hard KPIs relating to sustainable impact. Having GRI data, ISO norms, certificates, and all of those data points in one accessible software tool is already valuable in itself. But this is where the use case starts, not where it ends. With our platform, you will be able to reliably track your supplier performance, measure their impact and your impact, compare it to industry standards and to competitors, and actually manage your supplier portfolio to drive real impact.
Yeah, we see some comments in the chat, good pitches, great videos. Yeah, I have to say I absolutely agree. And we have just seen, some of the videos yesterday for the first time. And I think it really speaks volumes about the projects that we have at the European Impact Bureau. And I have to say, I'm really delighted, to be working the next 6 months with them, bringing together with mentors from SAP and experts from Volkswagen, Audi, Microsoft. And one of these experts we have here on the panel. So Johanna, I would really like to also ask you about your experience at the Impact Hero Day, because I think one of the teams was also now in our last round of pitches, right?
Yes, that's correct. So I had the pleasure to work with EcoTrack on that challenge. And of course, that spoke right to my heart, coming from procurement, and the idea that from a procurement perspective, of course, everything that we do needs to be based on good and sound facts, because of course we want to have comparable data, we want to have fair data, and we want to make good decisions. So within Audi, for example, today sustainability is actually already part of our sourcing process. So we have a criteria.
I don't know, there seems to be a little problem with the sound. Johanna, there's a little problem with your sound. I don't know if the others also have this issue. Oh, I see that your internet connection is a bit bad. Maybe, Johanna, you can reconnect, and then we will get on that, because I will really want to hear this. And also, talk about your experience. So maybe, Johanna, if you can just hear me, just reconnect, and maybe also refresh your browser, and then you can come back.
Maybe I can jump in, Manuel. I just saw when I
actually decides whether a supplier can be a partner.
I will not.
No, Tobias, sorry. Continue.
So when I looked at the video from Zurück, they solve the same problem as Buffy, right? But they do this in a different way. So this is also a good example for how startups, and in our case, how social entrepreneurs, they work on solving problems that we have in the society, and they do this in different ways, and I really like that. So that happens a lot in those kind of events that we see that teams work on the same problems in very different ways, and they both work. They can exist side by side, so they are not in a competitive situation or something like that. So, and this is a really good takeaway for me also on this. From the 2 days, from the event 2 days ago. So.
And I think this also reflects very well on the partners coming together. So maybe we can also speak, 1 or 2 sentences about that. Because Kiara, how was your experience? It's not that usual that companies, work together from different sectors. But I think it was very beneficial on the part of the startups to have, people with a background from product development, also, of course, from launch and implementation at Microsoft, and also from the automotive. So maybe how was the experience working with colleagues from very different companies and sectors?
Honestly, it was a really unique experience. I thought it was incredibly interesting because everyone had a different focus point and challenged different ideas, asked different questions. And it's all about asking those right critical questions to make sure that, the idea is suitable. So I thought it was really inspiring. I learned so much from the other colleagues at SAP and Audi about topics that I had never even heard about, or how they define sustainability. And I think it's a great opportunity not only for companies and startups to share knowledge and learn from each other, but also to share knowledge among, different industry experts and people who are working in different areas. Because as you just said, Tobias, it's not about, that one solution. It's about targeting the same issues with different approaches. And I think that is what all these companies are trying to do as well. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I hope that we continue to kind of share knowledge, experiences as we progress in finding solutions.
And let me say that, what Tobias said, that there are, startups that can have different solutions working side by side. I think it's really awesome that you, follow, the lead that you give, that different corporates, different partners from sectors come together, work together, because this is what we need. We need collaboration, and we cannot just ask others to work together to have better solutions. So you lead by example. And I know this is not normal, also not in the terms of corporate citizenship and sustainability. So it was a great pleasure working with the different partners. And I see now, Johanna, you're back. Johanna, maybe just try if we can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
I can hear you and I can see you, but can you see and hear me?
We can hear you and see you perfectly. Okay. And I'm very, very happy that you are back and using the last minutes, because I was very eager. And I think we're all very eager to hear from you in the last minutes. Again, your experience at the Impact Hero Day, coming from sustainable procurement, working with a social venture like EcoTrack.
I think what's really cool is that we were able to share our experience from our daily business. So what are the typical questions and challenges that we face, and to get this reflected from an entrepreneurial perspective, right? So people who are really out there fresh with their ideas and who look at it from a completely different perspective, and to have this matchmaking, to share experience, but also to pick up on new ideas and projects. I think that was fruitful for both sides. And I think from the entire Audi team who will be involved further in this, I think we're really looking forward to mentoring some more of the startups, and I really hope that both sides can benefit from this.
Johanna, I would really like to invite you to be one of our lecturers. We are going to have master classes on different topics from sustainability and business development and mentorings, as you mentioned, for the next 6 months for our teams that we have. I would love, to connect with you and invite you to come and speak, from your experience in one of our master classes in the program. I think that would really be a huge benefit for us, and we'd love to have you.
Yep. Happy to do so.
And we didn't plan this. Like, this is really a heartfelt and open invitation. But I think what you said would be really, really great to have you there. Looking at the last minutes, what we would like to share to you, for everybody here watching, is the link for our final event, because we already know when the final event is going to take place. It's always good to plan ahead. It's the 11th of November in the early afternoon. We will just share with you the link to Eventbrite. You can book a free ticket, of course, there. We are planning with a digital setting. We don't know how the situation will be. We hope, of course, for the best, but also our startup, our mentors are from all over Europe, and so make it accessible and easy. We're going to have a digital or at least hybrid setting. But you can already have, a free link and a ticket there. So please, my colleagues, just post it again, the link, Eventbrite, here in the chat. If you want to see what actually comes out of it, maybe you can, if you can remember, can compare the pictures now and where they are going to be in the next 6 months. I have to say, I'm very, very eager to be working with awesome people like Tobias, Kiara, and Johanna to further help these social ventures, really great social ventures that we have. And I think really reflecting back, Tobias, what you said, where can we have the most impact? And I think the most impact really we can have if we support change makers that are on the brink of changing the world, basically. So thank you very much again for being part of this. And I know we're going to see us again at some point at the European Impact Hero program. And for all of you who still stay in the European Social Economy Summit, if you go back, you will be on the main stage. There's a lot still going on today, a lot of interaction, exchange, keynotes. We're going to have a panel from the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship at the World Economic Forum about the topic of how corporates can really be beneficial for the social economy. This is going to be at 2 o'clock, so a lot to see at the European Social Economy Summit. For all others, I can also understand if you need some rest from the digital world. Again, I have to say, amazing job that you did 2 days ago, like from 8:30 in the morning till I think 7:30 nearly in the evening, working digitally hard in the groups. It's a huge lift that you did. I'm very, very thankful. I know the social ventures are very thankful. So Tobias, Kiara, Johanna, thank you very much for being part of the European Impact Hero, and thank you very much for being here.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Goodbye.